Hey everyone, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're dissecting an invisible force we literally interact with every single day, brand personality. Seriously, have you ever wondered why you feel so fiercely loyal to one specific company, even when their competitor sells the exact same thing? Well, let's figure it out.
So what elements actually make up a brand's personality? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Now, in the framework we're unpacking today, we are definitely not just talking about logos or, choosing a nice color palette. We're diving into the actual human characteristics that companies adopt to connect with us on an emotional level. Just think about that for a second. We are assigning human traits to inanimate companies. So what exactly are those traits?
Okay, let's dive into this. Section title, The Brand Personality Module, and what participants learn.
Here's the exact roadmap, right here. It's a 5-pillar foundation of brand personality. We've got ruggedness, sophistication, competence, excitement, and sincerity. Now, you already know that in the marketing world, each of these words carries a massive amount of psychological weight. These are the specific dimensions used to shape how we perceive things and ultimately how brands build those deep, unshakable connections with us.
The 5 core pillars, breaking down the elements. To truly grasp how this works, we really need to isolate these and look at them one by one. First up on the list is ruggedness. Brands that lean into this pillar, they project pure toughness, outdoorsiness, and serious durability. Think about your favorite heavy-duty work boots or those massive off-road vehicles. They are absolutely not trying to be gentle here. They are actively projecting this gritty, resilient identity. And why? Because it's designed to make you feel adventurous, maybe even practically invincible when you use the products. Now, jumping over to the complete opposite end of the spectrum, we have sophistication. This immediately brings to mind elegance, luxury, prestige. It's the high-end watch, right? The designer label, the velvet rope at the VIP lounge. This targets a totally different emotional response. It's all about making the consumer feel exclusive, incredibly refined, and highly status-driven. And this brilliantly illustrates the contrast we're talking about, because let's face it, you can't exactly wear muddy hiking boots to a black tie gala. Seeing the gritty nature of ruggedness placed directly across from the polished elegance of sophistication really highlights the vast spectrum we're dealing with. A brand has to plant its flag somewhere on this map. If they try to be both at the exact same time, it usually just completely confuses the audience and dilutes the whole psychological impact. Then we've got the functional powerhouse, competence. This refers to brands that absolutely need to be seen as reliable, intelligent, and successful. Just think of your bank, or maybe a massive tech company. I mean, you really don't need your bank to be outdoorsy, and you don't necessarily need it to be luxurious either. You just need it to be highly capable. Competence is all about projecting deep, unwavering trust through flawless capability. Next, we inject a massive dose of energy with excitement. Brands leaning into this pillar are daring, they're spirited and wildly imaginative. These are your extreme sports drinks, your cutting-edge entertainment companies. The ones that push the envelope and literally give you a rush of adrenaline just by associating with them. It's a fast-paced, high-tempo personality trait, purely designed to grab and tightly hold your attention. Finally, acting as this beautiful counterbalance to all that high-octane energy, we have sincerity. These brands aim to be seen as down-to-earth, totally honest, and wholesome. Think of your favorite family-oriented brand, or maybe a local artisanal company you love. It's just a warm, welcoming personality trait. It quietly builds this fierce, lifelong loyalty without ever needing to shout for your attention.
Let's move to and see how this builds into the next phase, the branding exercise, applying the elements.
Now, it's one thing to define these traits in a vacuum, right? But out in the real world, they actually work together holistically. A successful brand doesn't just pick one trait at random and call it a day. No, it balances all 5 of these elements. Maybe it leans heavily into 1 or 2 main pillars, sure, but it uses the whole mix to create a fully fleshed out, multi-dimensional profile. Honestly, it's kind of like building the personality of a real human being.
And as the source directly points out, the participants would start to learn in a branding exercise. Grasping these concepts is a super active, hands-on process. It's not just about memorizing 5 words from a list. It's about taking real-world brands, dissecting them, and even building new ones from scratch. That's how you see exactly how these personalities maneuver in the market, how they build those lasting connections, and how they actually drive consumer behavior out in the wild. So that brings us right back to you. Which of these 5 pillars defines your favorite brand? Really think about it. The company you are personally most loyal to.
Are they rugged, sophisticated? Maybe they're incredibly competent, exciting, or just plain sincere. Let me tell you, once you learn this framework, you're going to start seeing it absolutely everywhere. It completely changes how you view the products you buy every single day. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I highly encourage you to take this branding exercise out into the real world with you today.